Hi everyone, Brother George here on Bible Made Easy podcast. Thanks for joining me. The shooting and death of Christian conservative activist Charlie Kirk was a truly shocking and sobering event. It's really hard to know what to say about it, but I will try to share some personal thoughts on it here. I think it's fair to say that this tragedy stunned not only Americans, but millions and millions around the world who followed and supported his activities and held him in high regard. Much of the emotional response has been just plain heartbreak, especially for his wife and children, and grief that such a tragedy could occur to such a fine man. Kirk was a man of noble character, a true Christian gentleman. He was fiercely dedicated to his cause, passionately opposed to liberal progressive ideas, yet genuinely and consistently friendly and respectful to his opponents. And he had lots of enemies who hated him intensely, as evidenced by his assassination. On college campuses, he was often mocked, spoken to disrespectfully and heckled, but he never responded in kind. So what did Charlie Kirk believe in and campaign for? Well, there was a lot, but here are some of the main things. First of all, Charlie Kirk was a dedicated Christian who openly professed his faith in Jesus as a natural part of his activism. He rightly believed that America's overall shift away from God in modern times is the root cause of its present-day ills. Kirk felt that America needed to return to the Christian ideas that made it a great country in the first place, and this was central to his message. Kirk also championed the following causes: religious freedom, freedom of speech, personal liberty and personal responsibility, absolute truth over moral relativism, biblical marriage and sexual ethics, law and order, the importance of the nuclear family, especially the need for engaged fathers, limited government and free markets, secure borders and national sovereignty, patriotism and love of country, a biblical and common sense approach to social issues, and Israel's right to exist and defend itself. He fought against cultural Marxism, socialism, diversity, equity and inclusion ideology, radical feminism, abortion, government overreach, the radical LGBTQ agenda, ideological corruption in academia, Hollywood, politics and the media, and globalism. While not every one of Kirk's ideas and beliefs aligned perfectly with Scripture, there's no doubt that God used him in a mighty way as a voice for faith and common sense. I believe he was an anointed vessel raised up by the Lord to bring an almost prophetic message to a spiritually struggling nation. He wasn't an evangelist in the usual sense, but his political and cultural activism pointed the nation to God, godly values, and time-honored practices. And he was incredibly talented in reaching the younger generation with his message, which no doubt kindled faith in many of them. The fact that from his humble activist beginnings at the age of 18 to the time of his death at 31, he was able to achieve as much as he did was truly remarkable. It's also rare for such a political and cultural warrior to love, respect and reach out to his ideological opponents as effectively as he did. He was a truly wonderful example of respectful debate. God bless him. So of what significance is his passing for Christians and the conservative movement in the US and abroad? It's hard to know, but his assassination has triggered what seems to me to be an unprecedented outpouring of emotion among Christian conservatives worldwide. Christians in the US and certain parts of the West have long complained about growing marginalization and active harassment by political and cultural elites and the media. This incident seems to have lifted the lid on quite a bit of pent-up frustration. The shot that killed Kirk may very well turn out to have been a modern shot that was heard around the world in regards to the spiritual, political, and cultural conflict between Christians and the Marxist globalist agenda. And assassinations and martyrdom of the saints have always backfired on the perpetrators. I have no doubt that Christians worldwide will find even more motivation and courage to live out and witness our faith as he did. There's a lot more to say about Charlie Kirk, his life, his death, and his legacy. What are your thoughts? Please add to the conversation by sharing them in the comments below. We'd really love to hear from you.
Christian, by any chance?
Very, very much so.
Like, why is that exactly?
Jesus saved my life. I'm a sinner, gave my life to Christ, most important decision I ever made.
So you believe the Bible is real?
Yes, I believe the Bible is true and real. Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I could give you the technical answer. There's never been an archaeological discovery that has contradicted the truth of the Bible. And then, of course, the wisdom. There is not a truth of the Bible that if you apply to your life does not improve dramatically. And then finally, we have the most accurate and transparent, historically robust account that one can have of the most important figure ever to live in the history of the world, Jesus of Nazareth. And the resurrection is the pinpoint of my belief that Jesus did rise from the grave so that we may live.